Testing. This is VJ Franz K. I'm here inside Horizon Worlds, which is an amazing app that is now in public beta for your Oculus Quest 2 and also Oculus Rift, which I still have and I'm using now for this recording. But what is happening here? Now I'm in Builder View. I was in Look Around View previously, but see, this is where my player character will appear when they first materialize in the world. And then I have my robots, and they're partially built. As you can see, parts are coming together, but these characters make ideal examples for this thing because they all tend to be built out of perfect shapes. Like suppose that I want some eyes for this guy, so I would pick out a shape. Maybe I'll make hexagon-shaped eyes. So I have the shape, comes right off the palette there, and I'm going to shrink that down. I'll do some in-depth tutorials with this creation process a bit later, just want to show you it's actually not hard to do, and you can learn if you have been using other VR creative apps. Or maybe if this is your first one, I would think this is a good first one for you to start with. Because should he have orange eyes? Yes, that looks good, doesn't it? Alright, and then I can adjust the texture also for him. So texture, it's not very visible on a small thing, but you notice there's a slight texture on this metal. And I often don't design with textures. I'll often use flat colors, not patterns, but in this case a little bit of a texture is good because with these very simple sort of low poly shapes, it gives you an idea of what is going on. But anyway, in case you just got your Oculus Quest for Christmas or other holidays, you see I just copied the nose here from one robot to another, but this is a larger robot, so maybe he needs a bigger nose. So make it a bit larger and then a bit wider. And I only got into this program recently, but it's pretty easy to use. You can learn it, like I said. But I'm going to link my promo code in the discussion below, the comment section. And if you haven't signed up with your Oculus Rift yet, use that and we will both get app credits, which would be $60 until the end of the year and then $30. But that's a nice way to start off your Oculus Quest experience with some free app credits, and there's a lot of interesting apps in there. Some of them are paid and some of them are free, so I'll tell you about a couple of my other favorite apps since we're talking at this moment. Oh, so suppose I want to extend this arm a bit more. I'm going to copy my cylinder, and then very, very simple. See, the figures aren't even joined with hinges yet, so it's a basic sort of construction, kind of like you had on early PlayStation games, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do that. So these other robots are smiling, but this fellow, I don't know if he wants to smile. He might be... I know, we'll turn his mouth forward. He's not sure what expression he's going to take. It's sort of a smile. Give him just a little bit of a smile there. Yeah. I always think of what what expressions, what emotions my characters have, and it's like when we first have robots that appear in our world, they're not going to have real emotions. Maybe that'll be simulated later on, but in my comic creation here, the random robots of Zebulon, they do seem to have emotions, just because that's the kind of characters that we are used to, with emotional stuff going on. But he's coming together. Our let's see, I could move this traffic cone out of the way. I'll select here and then here, and then I can group. And there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube already, or a few, that will show you how to do this type of thing, and I'll explain it later after I fully get my mind around it, but I'm already doing pretty good. So I'm selecting the different parts of his hand here, and then I'm going to group these into a hand. And I'll copy the hand here. Let's see. There is a way to mirror the object, but I do not remember what that is. Oops, I made too many copies, but undo. Have you heard my song about undo? Sometimes there's times in your life you wish you could press undo, but when you're in your computer apps, you still can. So, making his hand. Wait, I see. So here it is, and then we had this thumb, forefinger, then smaller fingers. It's a very simple hand, but it's enough to get the point across. And that's sort of the center of low poly graphics, is to get across just express what it is without worrying about having super high polygons. And I think they do this in the world of Horizon Worlds, just so your various devices will have enough polygons to be able to render this, and then also render a bunch of other characters and people you might meet. See, we're not talking to other people at this moment, but it's entirely possible to do that. And I'll also link this area and my other areas in the comments below. Let's say this robot cat. Now he's not doing much here, but what if he was going to... This guy is called Tuxedo Catman. So suppose that he is going to get a call on his cell phone. So maybe I'll move his arm out like that. Notice these are all simple polygons, but you can do a lot with just simple polygons. And his arm isn't long enough. For a lot of these I'm using two segmented arms, but for this guy I could just use extend the segment like that and make it a little bit larger. So suppose he needs a cell phone, right? And there's a cube, and then there's another cube in the list here. And I was wondering, what's the difference between these two cubes? But if you look closely, you can see the bottom cube is rounded. It's got rounded edges. So for a cell phone, all nice rounded edges. I don't know if it needs that texture. Maybe change the texture to something very, very simple. I bet they will make a lot more textures. I see simple noise. I bet they will have a lot more textures later on in the world of this app, but I hope we get patterns. So it's just a cube. Doesn't look like a cell phone yet, does it? So, but make it taller. That's a good step. Still too wide though, right? So now make it thin. So here he's got a cell phone, but you know, that's too simple for a phone to be. You're always on your phone, you know that's true. If let's see, I'll set the snap lock. Oops. There's a lot of different features here. All right, grab and lock it down. There. Now I'm going to duplicate from this, so another copy here, but then make it smaller, make it smaller, make it smaller, put it into position. Oops, go back. Oops, see. You can forget sometimes what controls you are using. So there is the screen of the phone. But if it's a screen, it's glowing. And maybe it's glowing like a bright blue color or something. I'm going to change it to glow. It's glowing. So that'll actually put out a little bit of light. I don't know if you can see that, and you can set how much glow is going to be in there. But then it's an iPhone-like thing, we're also going to have this round thing. Gotta make this way smaller, obviously. So shrink that way down and make it thin. Make it thinned out. Put it right on there, a dot. Oops. It's a glitch. Alright, so here it is. Now I'm going to draw a line, select the bottom, the button, and the screen, put it together, group. And then I can call this thing cell phone. Close it. Now put it where his hand would grab it. He's about to, and I'll make him a cat paw hand later on, go with the whole thing. But let's see, oh yeah, so let's look into the world again. And now I can walk around in the world like a regular person looking at this. And yes, we can go around. We can see the other side of the robots here. Yes, some of them don't have legs yet built, and this is going to be Zebulon, the spaceman, is going to have his helmet there, but that's a placeholder for where he will be standing. And we've got traffic cones for Trigo, the delivery robot. He's going to be here, but anyway. Random Robots of Zebulon comics, see the page on Facebook. It's there. And you can, it's under construction. But I'll tell you the robots here. Tuxedo Catman. And this is Ada Hyperbole. This is Fast Forward. This is Dr. Isosceles. And this is Leadite. And there's a lot more characters of the Random Robots of Zebulon, but I haven't built them yet. Suppose I wanted to start an entirely new robot over here, though. What would I do? Maybe start with a circle, or a sphere, obviously. The three-dimensional version of a circle. And maybe I'll change the color. And maybe I will make Errata Muse another one of the characters here. But, let's see. Make it orange. Since they're all metal, I'm going to use the metal texture. Shiny, very shiny, maybe too much. Make it, yeah, a little more dull. So there is the head, and then Errata Muse. She looks kind of like a bird, so I can look for the shapes that would sort of make up her head and other things. Fill that in. A half circle. That's like her head already. And then I can use this shape, which is interesting. It's a very rounded cylinder. Fill that in. This can be her neck. And I'll just change the length on that. And I can copy it, and it's also starting to make a good shape for her body there. And for eyes. For eyes, I can also use this shape. This is a very good robot shape, I would say, but also stretch that out a bit more to get this sort of oval-shaped eyes that I often draw. I'm going to or does she have green eyes? Maybe. I haven't even decided what color eye she has to have, but what's going on here? There. Did I accidentally group these two? It's easy to forget what you're doing sometimes. What I have to do, okay, deselect. Turn the head to the right position. Now, paint, style, green. So that's green eyes. Take this. I hate to say, it looks like a pickle, doesn't it? So those are two eyes for her. And sort of macaroni shape. Oops, I made two of them. I don't need to though. So close this and move it, lock it, fill, fill. This gray color. I bet the music is getting a little annoying. I can actually mute that if I want to, but so it's sort of, see what I'm doing here? I'm thinking what kind of simple basic shapes make everything up. And you notice it's snapping to position, but I don't have to have it snap. I could have it free positioning, see, without snapping. There it is. And then, let's see, we'll do a duplicate here. Yeah, you see, that's starting to be her face. And I don't know exactly what her mouth is going to look like, but for now, I'll just put in a nice smile there in the middle of it, and we'll, that's not bad. All right, and let's see. The thing about this character is she has big wings. So now, what could I use to make the wings? I could use these triangles, but I might decide to use a cone. But a cone is too big and round, right? But if I do this, so there it is, I'll take this and then I'll flatten that cone. Make it almost flat, but it has a bit of roundness, and then extend it outward. You can see now it's starting to be a wing. See, she's part bird, so gotta have these big wings. She's getting ready to fly. And who knows, maybe another triangle will be her tail. Does she have a tail? She sort of has a clothing that makes her look like a bird. But that's pretty good. And I think I will use the same nose that I'm using on these other robots, which is a small pyramid. Copy this, wait. Go here, then duplicate. Can I do, oh, I see. What happened? Alright. It's like, it's simple building, but you can start to lose track of what you're doing if you don't think about it. So, there we go. Oops. Sink that pyramid into the polygon structure there. Maybe I'll make it narrow down, then anyway, it's going to take me a while to get everything arranged just right, but I wanted to show you this amazing app. And also, like I said, if you're registering your Oculus Quest, use my referral link so we will both get some apps, and I will tell you some good apps that you want to check out. You can see elsewhere on my channel I talk about Synth VR, which is, you can make electronic music like experimental music or techno or other things that way. And you wouldn't expect, well, I would expect, but maybe you don't expect to make music in VR, but it is possible, and it's going to get amazing to be able to play and perform concerts inside VR. And Synth VR is a nice app that will help you do that. So you should buy that, and I'll have a link to that in the list too. And let's see, what else? OpenBrush is a great app that you can, it's a continuation of the open-sourced tilt brush for basically painting in the middle of virtual space. So see, I'm copying the joints here of her arm, and let's see, then building them out to what seems like the right length. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Being a perfectionist is the enemy of getting things done sometimes. It's good to want to make things perfect, but if you have to make them perfect, you're going to run into trouble, trust me. But that is one reason why I'm just having so much fun with Horizon Worlds right now, is because it's the early stages of the app still, and you don't have to be perfect to do something interesting. So suppose she has a bracelet here, and maybe I'm going to go into the paint, copy the green color from her eyes. See, it's copied onto the bracelet now. And then, haven't decided how I'm going to build her hands yet, but not this, but another one of these longer shapes. And I'll probably, let's see, take this, flatten it down. It's kind of like a mitten. Mitten for her hands. They're not complicated. Oops. Shrink it down a bit, then duplicate. But in her mitten hand, she still needs a thumb going off to the side here. So position that so it looks right. More detail will be there, but you can see where this is going. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to VJ Franz K here on YouTube, and as well, consider becoming a Patreon supporter for this channel, which is going to go a lot more into the world of VR and other things. Maybe I'll get started over here. Building Zebulon, as you might know, is a guy who wears a spacesuit. So this is going to be the top circle of his space suit. And then so just copy some more rounded shapes here. See, it's already starting to look like a spacesuit. So these are like the shoulder pads, even though I might give him shiny metal shoulder pads. But I can set the texture later on after I get the shapes in place. So see, his arm is beginning to get built here. Zebulon, of course, he's a human clone. So he's not a robot. And see, that is starting to be the arm structure. Then very, very simple. Lock it down. You could use this to make art poses and then draw or Photoshop over in a more complicated way later. More mitten hands there. And then a rounded front panel for his spacesuit here. Sink that right into the front. With polygons, of course. Polygons can overlap with each other. So I don't even have to worry about the size of that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please check out the links at the bottom of this video and ask any questions you want. Me or other viewers may answer them for you.